Today we're going to be making EDM drop vocals just like these ones.
Yeah, no, for the longest. Yeah, no, for the longest.
If you ever wonder how you can use your own voice to create EDM drop vocals, well, this video is for you. The song we're going to go through is my latest release, Feel Your Touch, and believe it or not, all the vocals in that track were made using my own voice. My beautiful, delicate voice. And yeah, it really was a fun process, so let's give it a look. Alright guys, so this is the project, and as you may have seen in the last video, and if you haven't checked it out, you can see it right here. It was about the main vocals of this track and how to record EDM main vocals. And I recorded everything on a different project, all the main vocals there. And then I also recorded these ones, all right, so the drop vocals, but then I had to move them here to have more CPU power, all right? So I might have the original vocals, they sound like this.
Yeah, no.
Without any processing. Yeah, no, for the longest. All right, so we have the instrumental right here. And these back vocals, I think, were recorded on the main project or the vocal main project, but I think I re-exported them a bunch of times, and I'm not sure if I even have the original anymore, but if so, then I'll show it to you. So this is how the drop vocals sound.
Yeah, no, for the longest. Yeah, no, for the longest.
And this is not the final version yet because I then imported them into the main project and also did a few tweaking there with some reverb and whatnot, which I'll show you later. Let's go one by one. So I first started by adding some EQ to get out the unnecessary low end of the vocal, as you can see. For the longest. Then I added some autotune at F sharp major, and this has a lot of return speed, so it's at 10, and it sounds like this. Yeah, no, for the longest. Yeah. I also added a bit of format, some throat length. All right, you can see that autotune is really struggling to fix this vocal because it's a bit autotune. Yeah, no, for the longest. But then we can fix that by adding some distortion and some reverb and, you know, try to mask it out. All right, so then we added some glue to compress the vocals and level out the volumes of it and keep the dynamics. So it goes like this. Yeah, no, for the longest. All right, so not a lot of compression right here. Then I added a manipulator, and this is to do that format shifting effect. So before it sounded like this. Yeah, no. And then we add some manipulator, and it goes like this, just with a -3 on the format.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
And this also kind of masks out that autotune effect. Then some Camel Crusher and Sound Godizer for distortion.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
It makes it a bit louder and it boosts a bit of the high frequencies and adds some harmonies to it. Then to also boost still a bit of the high frequencies, I added an SSL 4000, and I'm just adding a bit of high frequencies right here at around the 10,000 hertz, and goes like this.
Yeah, no, for the longest. Yeah, no,
without,
for the longest.
And then with.
Yeah, no, for the.
Okay, then last but not least, some EQ to get out some of the muddiness and boost a bit of the high frequencies, and then another one at the end to get out all the low end that might have been added by the distortion that I used. All right, then last but not least, obviously I had to do some side chaining to the instrument, and I used Kickstart for that. It goes like this.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
It's at 88%, and this is how it sounds with the beat.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
Then I'm not even sure what this was for. This is probably the volume automation and the reverb mix. Let me see.
For the longest.
Oh, yeah, so this is to kind of make the ending longer, but I think I ended up doing that in the main project, so let's check it out. Right, so here on the main project, guys, as you can see, I have the main vocals right here, and then I also have the drop vocals, and I automated all the reverbs and delays on the drop vocals here, but didn't do so for the main ones because they were a bit heavier, so I did it in a different project, as you can see on the last week's video. All right, so the drop vocals right here sound like this.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
And here I have the back vocals that go like this. So for the main ones, let's start adding the reverb. And so this is without any reverb.
Yeah, no, for the longest.
So really dry. And then how we did that
yeah.
is we get this main drop right here, main drop vocal. And you can see that I did a few more tweaks to it. So a bit of high end on the main project, and I boosted a bit of the low. Okay, nothing too much. And a bit of sound goodizer, nothing too much, just really, really small boosts that I saw were needed together with the instrumental. And then I added the kickstart here and lowered it to 70 instead of 88%. Right, so how you do this is you route the vocals to this bus right here, so the reverb bus. If you don't know how to do that, you just right click right here and route to this track. Then I add some Pro R, which is one of my favorite reverbs at the time. And don't forget that if you're using a reverb bus, you need to put the mix to 100%. And I think my FL Studio crashed. Oh God. Oh God. What is... No. Yo, bro. Can you please come fix my FL Studio? All right, we're back. So I was showing you FFilter Pro R on the reverb bus, and I also EQ my reverb on the separate bus because it gives me more control. So let's see how the reverb sounds. And exactly like I did for the main vocal, I automated the reverb on the drop. So this is sort of a sidechain reverb, and it plays throughout the whole song just a tiny little bit, but then at the end of each sentence, so for example, right here, right, and right here, I bring it up. So let's see how it sounds.
Yeah, no.
Let me remove this one.
Yeah, no. For the longest. Yeah.
So you see the last syllable going up, and if you take it out,
yeah, no.
So really dry. Then moving on to the delay, and the first one is an Echo Boy at 100% wet, and then I EQ'd it the same way I did with the reverb. And be careful with the delay because I usually take out a bit more low end because you don't want that nasty low end duplicating throughout the song. So I actually have to, this last one is to make the last phrase go longer into the break. But this one is just really low, and it does the same at the end. And let me see if we can listen to it. Okay, so it's pretty much just repeating the sentences, and I used the delay to make this last phrase go into the break. So it goes like this.
For the longest.
Right, so repeats it into the break. And that's pretty much it, guys, for the drop vocals. I recorded different parts. So this one right here, I can't show it to you raw because it was on the other project that I just showed, but it goes like this.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And the processing is pretty much the same. So this is how it sounds with the beat.
Yeah, no, yo.
Let me see if we can check the back vocals without any processing. Oh, I think we can. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. It shouldn't sound this loud. Let me see if I can reverse it. Oh, because the pitch. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I did that. So if we reset the pitch, this is how the original vocal sounds. All right, so it sounds really bad. And then what we do is we pitch it up really high. Okay, so 12 semitones, and then it sounds like this. Then we add a bunch of effects, so it's just auto-tune, fruity reverb to make it really wide, and then a stereo shaper to make it even more wide, and then some kickstart, and this is how it sounds. And with the beat, this sounds so good. So I use this back vocal to contrast with the main one in the silence parts, and it worked really well. So let's listen to the final result. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.